Before you decide to spend any money on functional lab testing, please watch this, save this. Just remember to come back to this. And I'm telling this as someone who owns and runs a holistic health practice where we use functional lab testing, but also as someone who was a patient and client for so many years and spent so many thousands and thousands of dollars on all kinds of functional medicine testing with no actual real healing for a lot of that period of time. So look, functional testing is great. It can provide us a lot of information about usually very specific areas of your body. I would say maybe there's a couple exceptions to that, but by and large, we're looking at one, maybe two specific areas of the body. We think like a stool test, we're looking at specifically the gut. And by the way, a stool test is only looking at a couple things in the gut. It's really not great for parasites. Most of them are not great for yeast and fungus. Most of them are only good for looking at the immune system and looking at bacterial issues. Not all of them, but most of them. If we think hormone testing, we're only looking at actual sex hormones. Maybe we're also looking at stress hormones. Maybe we're looking at thyroid hormones, but not usually. This is such a narrow focus. And if you are working with someone who only uses these kinds of tests and decides, hey, we're going to do these 1 to 3 tests, and then we're going to decide what your body actually needs based on that, and only that, targeting those specific things, you're missing the bigger picture, and you're going to end up like me, like so many other people who come to us, that they're chasing symptoms, and they're chasing specific symptoms and very specific issues, but are missing the bigger picture of what is actually going on in the body. And let me give you an example. So I had all kinds of gut issues when I was sick. Bloating, constipation, food sensitivities, gas, like really terrible gas. And so I did five stool tests plus multiple breath tests. And guess what? I had SIBO. Great. So then I addressed SIBO, I don't know, all 5 times, and I still ended up with SIBO at the very end. And this is where chronic gut issues so commonly come into play. And I'll tell you, this was my exact same experience with cortisol issues. I had a handful of cortisol tests. I was put on every cortisol supplement regimen you can think of, and I still had cortisol issues. And that's because no one was looking at the bigger picture. And so when we look at the bigger picture, in our practice, this is how we do it. We look at symptoms. We look at history of symptoms. We look at how symptoms have progressed. Where are symptoms right now? We look at blood work. Blood work gives us a little bit of a broader picture of what's going on. And then if we need to, then we decide to go with some additional functional lab testing to get really specific and like, okay, here, yes, you have gut issues. Yes, you have cortisol issues. Yes, you have hormone issues. But what is the overarching reason or reasons why this is happening in your body, and how do we start big picture and slowly work our way in? And I'll tell you, and once again, I had thyroid issues, I had autoimmunity issues, gut issues, cortisol, cognitive issues, all of these things, and only addressing these symptoms didn't get me very far. And it wasn't until I addressed heavy metals. Toxicity is a huge root cause, like overarching root cause. I had chronic Epstein-Barr virus that was impacting the autoimmunity, that was impacting my thyroid, among many other things. And then I had parasite issues, parasite overgrowth issues, and so many people miss that. I also had a significant trauma history, and my nervous system was crazy dysregulated. And it wasn't until I focused on all 4 of those that I finally started to heal. And then when I did some additional gut work kind of towards the end of that, then it actually stuck and it actually worked. But everyone else missed all of those other things. As a starting point, I ended up spending so much money, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on functional lab testing, on dozens. I mean, I would be on upwards of 20 to 30 supplements at any given time, plus all of the actual visits with these people. So look at the bigger picture. Don't just focus on 1 or 2 things in your body. Ask the bigger question is, why is this happening, and what needs to happen? How does my body need to be supported? Really need to be supported, looking at the bigger picture, and that is how you heal from all of these chronic issues. If you need help with this, if you need some guidance on where to start, what tests you should even get, be sure to book a free consult with us. There's a link in our bio. We'd be happy to do this for free and let you know what we think is going on and where we think you should start as a guiding point.